Hey there, I'm Ashley, and this is New Day with Ashley. If you're looking for inspiration to make a difference and create lasting impact, then you're in the right place. Get ready to be encouraged by the stories of my guests who have taken risks, overcome challenges, and created opportunities. It's time to make the most of your new day. My guest today has discovered her passion for helping others through teaching about stress reduction, movement, breath work, and has built a supportive and welcoming wellness community along the way. Kristen Burbank is the owner of Mojo Fit Studios, and the environment she has created helps her clients find the courage to make themselves a priority, take control of their own stress management, and yes, even their own happiness. You spent 10 years in Minneapolis.
Yes.
In the corporate marketing.
Yes. Corporate marketing, marketing operations.
So what led us to yoga? Being in corporate marketing for 10
corporate
years.
marketing. Yes, I started practicing in Minneapolis, just for my own good and health.
Yeah.
And I actually was a really big spinner.
Oh,
and
which fun thing. We kind of connected. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Over spinning.
Spinning, yeah. And I love spin, but
Yeah.
I spun like 70. It was crazy amount of days. And it was fairly intense spinning. And I had a foot injury due to just doing
Overuse.
probably doing too much. And was told by the doctor I had to take 6 months to a year off to let it heal. And so I found yoga through that injury because I thought it would be a more low impact opportunity while I healed till I could get back to my spinning, which I eventually did, but I just melded the two together, made both work. And then just through taking it, decided to become a teacher. And it honestly just became more of a health management or stress management thing for me while I was working, and kind of trying to juggle everything. And then just sort of started to really enjoy my time teaching more than being at my job. And then, kind of went on.
So what was that pivotal point where you're like, okay, we're moving back to Fargo and I'm going to have a yoga studio? I mean, I don't know what that conversation looks like. Maybe it wasn't quite like that.
It was pretty close. Honestly, I don't know that it was one pivotal point that where it was like a decision. When I was about 6 months pregnant, my husband travels 15 days a month. And so when I was about 6 months pregnant, I worked downtown and we had a lot of fertility issues. So I had to go to the doctor with my pregnancy a lot and was using a lot of PTO. And I just kind of started to be like, what am I going to do with this baby comes? And I am going to have to take more time. And I've already used it all. And just like, I don't know if this is going to work with our life really once I was pregnant. And so we were sitting there and I was like, I don't know. I think that maybe now might be the time to move back to Fargo and open a yoga studio.
And be closer to family, I suppose.
Yeah, be closer to family and with him traveling and friends. Honestly, we have a great friend network here too. And it wasn't really a decision, more of like I'm going to just test the waters and see how it goes. And I ended up having Mia and I kept working and we didn't really make that final decision. And then I'd say the big moment was I had dropped Mia off at daycare that we were paying a crazy amount of money for and at 7 a.m. to get to work, sat in traffic.
Okay.
Worked all day. By the time I got home, it was almost 7 when I picked her up. She was 4 months old. And I was like, I can't do this every day, I don't think, or even 15 days a month. When he was gone, it just wasn't, the lifestyle wasn't working with us. And so I think that was probably, it was like, okay, nope, something has to change.
Right.
Yeah.
Something's got to give here.
Yep.
So is that 2013 then?
That would have been, so Mia was 6 months when we moved, her and I got on a flight and we moved in with my parents. So she was 6 months old. Yeah, that would have been 2012.
2012.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 2013. Yeah,
okay.
She was born in November.
And so, did you see okay, now you're back here, and did you kind of know this is what we're doing when we come back to Fargo, or?
Yeah, I initially kind of thought I would, again, looking at family lifestyle as a whole, knowing that we had just made the decision that an 8 to 5 restricted job was not going to work with us. It just wasn't. We weren't seeing each other as a family. We weren't going to be spending time. She was going to be in daycare. We were not juggling it very well. And so I thought, well, I'll just open up like a little one-room yoga studio and I'll teach a little bit and that'll be my thing. And it grew from there, obviously.
I'm like, or no.
Yeah. And some of that was, I don't know, it just happened. It just
I guess
snowballed.
it was something that worked with your schedule at the time then, kind of. It could kind of grow with your family too.
And it still does, honestly. I work way more than 40 hours a week.
I'm like, wait, you didn't work 8 to 5. Now you work 5 a.m.
Now I work 5 a.m. to like 11 and then sometimes 1 a.m. But I work way more than 40 hours a week, but it is juggled around our schedule, which just works better for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably find more joy in that too.
For sure. Yeah. I like to be able to pick the kids up or be at the games and not feel like I'm missing out from all of that.
So would you say it was a big risk leaving that job to move to Fargo?
Yes. Yes. At the time, when I think back to it now, I'm like, why was I so nervous about it? You know, I was really nervous about it. I think at the time I had this mentality that, you know, if I leave this, no one else will hire me, or if this doesn't work, you know, I'm a little bit of a risk taker by nature. And so I wasn't super scared, but I was really more scared of like, what if I don't decide to do this? Will somebody else hire me?
Sure. I mean, you've already kind of climbed the ladder being in that position, probably.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I had been there for 10 years. I definitely say like part of that decision was my leaders looking at me and going, okay, what does your path look like?
Sure.
And
like,
knowing in my gut that I just wasn't connecting to any of the paths that were being put in front of me. And so it was a bit of transition years.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that. I've experienced that same thing before in careers. So and then like, you know, coming into Fargo, not a lot of yoga studios at the time.
Nope.
So an opportunity.
It was, yeah. We definitely, it's so funny because over the past 9 years, the marketing has changed. Marketing is definitely my love and my passion, right? And so back then it was a lot of yoga is different studio by studio, and it's different teacher by teacher and location by location. And so a lot of people had a mindset as to what they thought yoga was, and that yoga works for a lot of people, and a lot of people were like, I don't like that. And so getting people to try our yoga was an educational marketing path. And so it was a lot of just getting people in and having them tell their friends and like, oh, this is a little bit different. And well,
I have one of my podcast guests recently, Eric Hatch. He was talking about yoga, and he was like, "Oh, it is not yoga. What I do."
Yes.
Yeah.
He goes to Sculpt, which is not yoga. And a matter of fact, we used to call it Yoga Sculpt, and very intentionally dropped the yoga out of the title of the class because people would come in thinking, and it really is about 5 minutes of warm up yoga, and then it's a fitness class.
Right. Yeah.
And so we took yoga out of the title of that class, but he is a great sculptor.
Yeah.
And he does, he sculpts a lot with Danielle on Monday nights.
And you guys offer such a variety of classes. I mean, just looking at the schedule, I'm like, wow, there's like something for everyone, no matter like what level. I know I brought a whole group of couples.
Yes, that was fun.
And I did not tell them, it occurred to me, that they were doing hot yoga until earlier that day, but they were already signed up.
Yep, they were committed, and they all did really well.
They did. I was like, I am so proud of everyone that did this.
Yes.
So
they did a great job.
I think for people to kind of figure out what it is that you guys offer.
Yep.
So many different things. Of it's probably not what they had in their mind of yoga.
Yes.
You know?
Well, I mean, I love all types of yoga, not even just the types that we teach, but that is one of my love and passions. And I just wanted to create a facility where you could get some of that, but honestly, our target market is roughly between the ages of 20 and 50. I mean, I know that's a really wide range, but probably really deep into that sort of post-college to mom age. And as much as
dad.
I think,
No.
or dad, or dad, we have our male membership is up like 30% in
That's
the past
awesome.
2 years. So yes,
Yes.
or dad. But the path that I lost my train of thought. I apologize.
No, of just what you guys offer.
Yes, we wanted to offer classes that were accessible quickly. I don't know how to say it better than that.
Sure.
Where as much as we would all love to say, oh, I'm going to work out for an hour today, and then I'm going to do a meditation class for an hour. That's just not the way our lives work anymore. I would love that, but and I fully believe in yoga and don't make time for that kind of practice. And so I wanted something where we could kind of give them both. We give them the physical practice, but also be able to hit with the breath and the mental practice as well. And so it's a little bit of a molding.
Yeah.
The two.
And you have 2 locations.
We do. Yep. One in West Fargo, right off Veterans and 32nd. And then our North Fargo location is in the U32 building.
Yeah. Both beautiful studios.
Thank you.
I love them.
Yeah.
How about the Mojo? Where'd you come up with that name?
I wish I had a really fun story for this. I really don't. Other than I'll give a nod to a childhood friend that I grew up with. I actually always wanted to call the studios Yogini.
Okay.
Which I had a shirt. I was like, ready. It's going to be Yogini. And
Does that brand exist? Anywhere?
I'm sure that it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Yogini is like a female nod to the yogi.
Okay, sure. Got it.
And yes, you'll see it now that I
Sure.
say it. You'll see it around.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are studios called.
They owe you
Yogi.
that for that.
Yes. Yeah. Or I was going to steal it from them. Either way. That was it. And then I had hired an old elementary school friend of mine, started a marketing company in Minneapolis, and I hired them to help me with the launch and the website and the branding and all of that. And I sat at the table with his team, and he was like, yeah, no, that's not marketable.
What else you got?
How about we throw a couple of other options in front of you? And
man.
Mojo was one of them. And I was like, no, I like that. It just resonated well.
Yeah.
It had a good ring to it. And so we kept it. And
It seems upbeat and positive.
It had the energy around it that we
Right.
wanted to, but it's not a spectacular story other than the
Yogini vetoed.
It was shut down.
That's cute, Kristen.
Yeah.
However, not going to work.
However, nobody's going to remember how to spell it.
Wow, what a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so inspiring sharing these stories. To listen to the full podcast, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Remember to like and subscribe. I would love if you could leave me a 5-star review. This helps us reach and engage with more people. Join me next week, and until then, make the most of your new day.